$894,146.14.
Mr. Chair, second here.
I've got a motion with support on approving the bills. Are there any discussions, further discussions on the bills? At this point, I'd request a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Chairman Broder.
Yes, and we have approved the bills. At this time, we have an opportunity, our first opportunity for the public to address the board. Everyone, please remember that you'll have 3 minutes. And I would start with Anthony Karhoff, please.
I'll wait to go last, please.
I'd like to go last. Mr. Jeff Reed.
Read this opinion in the Argus and everything of disgruntled appointees. I was tipped off 3 days before the February 3rd meeting, and the decision had already been made that a selected candidate from one of the person who's no longer here, they'd already selected their candidates. So let's go over and let's define what merit is. 4 of your ringer candidates had never attended a board meeting, a township meeting, a village meeting in the last 6 months, or expressed any outrage at the violation of the Open Meetings Act or the stealing of the COVID funds. Number two of them were beaten candidates who could not get reelected. 3 of them did not dress like they were going to a job interview, maybe a tractor pull or WrestleMania. Okay, so I don't know what you guys' definition of what was merit, but the 2 people who know exactly what your financial situation, who had attended all the meetings, is me and Tony Karhoff, and it was a rigged deal. Even Helen Keller could see that. So you guys should automatically be ashamed and everything, or that your criminal behavior and everything, that everybody tried to look past on this rigged process to appoint somebody who was handpicked by 2 other county commissioners. And the whining in the paper and everything on this disgruntled and everything, I remember somebody who got beat by 3-0 with language by the Shiawassee County Election Committee, and he whined like a little girl in a pixie dress. Then when he lost the circuit judge, he whined again. And then he comes up with this, we were disgruntled because we were subject to a rigged appointment process. Yeah, right. Once again, Helen Keller could see the corruption there. Thank you very much.
Sue Wright.
Yes. Can I just hold on to these chairs?
You can sit down
Thank
if you'd
you.
like.
No, thank you very much, though. I have 2 comments. I would like to be considered, I have a FOIA that was dated 11/2 of last year. It's a $26,000 FOIA plus, and I would like the board to consider reducing that amount of money. Please. The next thing is the lack of class that this board has shown. In the comments to the newspaper publicly, I've never seen a body that stooped so low and made comments like Mr. Plowman did. It's very point of order. I apologize. Everyone here knows who did that. It's unprofessional. I've just never seen it. Never seen it. And if you folks continue, the transparency that was promised, Mr. Chair, the first night you took the board chairmanship is not here. And if you think it is, you're fooling yourself. Because I've never seen so many answers to FOIAs that are twisted, non-answers, and just an insult to receive them. Now, if we want to continue to play this game and hand me bills for $26,000 plus FOIAs, keep it coming, because I'm not going anywhere. I've been at this 14 months. I can do it another 14, I can do it another 28. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Carhoff?
Thank you. Excuse me, sorry about that. My name's Anthony Carhoff. Not a disgruntled candidate, just concerned.
Again, the
I'm-
chair, please.
I'm looking at all board members
Thank
directly.
you.
So, Mr. Plowman made the statement that the complained process of opening the applications. I never complained about any such process of opening applications. I complained about on how the questions were asked. And after learning this morning that each one of you had a packet that was handed to you, which I have that complete packet of all the candidates and their letters and characters of reference and everything. You know, there was 8 questions. Why did you apply for this position? Describe to me why you believe the job description is for the board, what the job description is, your experience. Give me examples when you've dealt with a distraught person. 2 accomplishments that have given you the most satisfaction and why. What's your greatest personal accomplishments? In the event you're chosen for this position, tell me what your priorities will be. What you have learned from your mistakes, provided specific examples. You know, when I found out that you guys were submitted these by Mr. Boggs, which thank you very much, he's very communicative, Carolyn Wilson and other individuals in this county, and after reviewing everything, there was only 2 candidates that actually had letters of personal reference of character. 2 candidates. One had 1 page and I had several. I'm not here being disgruntled, but I would just want to, you know, my question to the board is, did you read every page? Did you go thoroughly through every page? Did you call on any of these references? I mean, I understand that there was a recall against 3 members of this board at that previously. Now there was 2, and now it's going to go to an election, normal general election. But that being said, but for Mr. Plowman to make a statement like this, quite frankly, it sounds like somebody was very disgruntled that they were not picked because of we're all knowing that they were smarter than everybody in the room and that they were owed a position. I'm not smarter than anybody else, but I do attend meetings and I do listen. Being informed is not disgruntled. Being informed is being knowledgeable of the situations that are in this county. And when someone says disgruntled, then I guess you're not the chairman, he is, because he's speaking on your behalf and all these other commissioners here, including my new one, Mr. Brett Howard, which thank you for stepping forward, which I did thank every person that did in my letter to the editor. This board has to stand for integrity. You have to keep to your promise, which you said it won't be ran by personality, but professionalism. And that's what I didn't see that night. You had the opportunity.
Thank you. That closes our first public comment. At this point, I will open it up to any commissioners who would like to speak specifically to the comments that were just made. Is there anyone? Commissioner Plowman.
I made the comment, I read the letter in the Argus Press, and harangued our chairman for being unprofessional, all those types of activities. I just responded. I thought he did an excellent job. I thought we had 6 candidates. That was really good. Many of us had plenty of time to discern who they were, and a lot of us know several of them. And so it was just a pick of how we thought that person would work for the district and for this board and for the taxpayer. And I feel we made an excellent choice.
Thank you. Anyone else? Then I'll just comment. I'll comment briefly. The questions that Mr. Carhoff mentioned were not questions sent out to the candidates. They were simply possible sample questions, not required in any way, that were given to the board in case any of the board members. They were actually put together from a long list I was given by our county clerk. In her experience, I winnowed it down to a handful of questions. None of them require just here, if you want to ask any of these questions, here's a suggestion. The Open Meetings Act makes the process of what we just did rather difficult because we cannot, despite the accusations that I heard today. We cannot discuss with each other. Interesting, anyone else in the community we want to discuss it with, we can, but we cannot discuss with each other before the night we show up who the candidates we are. So we all have to read through everything that was sent. A few of us called some of the candidates, even met with some. We're allowed to do that. We just can't talk to each other. So we come in that night and open it up. Everyone, as far as I know, I can't swear to it, I know I read every page. Whether we call references, how we decide, what we decide based on candidates we know, people we've met. I've talked to, personally, I've talked to both Mr. Reed and Mr. Karhoff. We've gotten along just fine. Some of the candidates I had met, some I hadn't met, and I went on this, I asked a few questions that night. It is up to the commissioners what they deem is the important thing to decide and what they need to discuss. There was not some big conspiracy. I know I wasn't involved in any. I was very careful not to break the Open Meetings Act requirements. It does make it difficult, but we adhered to that. So that's my only comment, is to assure you that there was not any of this sort of thing that went on. So anything you've heard to the contrary was untrue. Anyone else? All right then. Then let's move on to committee reports. Commissioner Marks, we can start with you.
I have nothing to report.
Commissioner Plowman?
I have a few things. GS Thumb Region Workforce did not meet this month. They will meet again in April. I-69 Corridor did meet the second Tuesday this month at Bishop Airport, and we discussed activity, and it's really been good for business in the corridor. And there's a real lack of commercial property to acquire or build it, and that's being addressed by our group with a study, and see if we can't get more industrial property in the process. Parks and Rec will meet next week. Michigan Township Association, that's the first Tuesday of this month. We had a good attendance. A lot of concern about cost of things going up, inflation, so on and so forth. Shiawassee County Road Commission, I met, that was the first Monday, so the first Tuesday of this month, and actually the winter had been pretty mild, but there was indicated that we maybe have a storm. Well, we did, maybe we have another one, so. But they have plenty of salt and sand, and they're ready for it, and hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber?
I do not have anything this month, thank you.
Commissioner Howard?
The Planning Commission met in January. There was one open item for a wedding barn that was postponed pending some questions. There is no meeting this month, so the next meeting will be in March.
Thank you. Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes, I'm on the 911 board, and we didn't meet last month, but we're going to meet this week, and we already it came before the board. They're going to spend over $1 million from their budget for new phones for the ambulance and the police departments and all those people that need new phones, fire departments and all that. Also, I'm on the senior citizen board. They didn't meet last month, but we met this week, and things are moving along over there. Only thing we're having is a little problem. They added on to the Durand Center over there, and the contractor that did it, things are all falling apart. So I don't know where the building inspectors were and everything else over there, but it's a real mess. We're going to have we already turned it over to attorney. We're having legal problems with that. And also on the Shiawassee Economic Board, and we're going to meet this week, and things are moving along good there. Also, I'm on the Mental Health Board, and I'm on the Finance Committee, and I'm on the Nominating Committee. And I see in our thing we had 2 people leave, so we're appointing 2 more new people. And the big issue over there is the state legislators, they want to privatize the whole mental health system. So they're really upset about that. They don't think that's, making it profitable. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there's a big push for it. So that's a really big item. So I don't know what's going to happen. That's about it there.
Thank you very much. At this time, I will entertain motions. Commissioner Marks, could we start with you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I will move to approve the PA 116 farmland agreement application for Mr. and Mrs. Marchnell, parcel 004-140-200-001 and 004-14-200-002, located in Hazelton Township as directed by the Economic and Physical Development Committee meeting.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Is there discussion on that item? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes. Passes.
All right, and then now I will move to approve the PA 116 farmland agreement application for Maplefront Properties, parcel 014-34-400-002 in Perry Township.
Support.
A motion with support. Discussion on that item. Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes. Passes.
Okay, and to close my report, we'll make a motion, I will, to approve the minutes of the February 14th, 2022 Economic and Physical Development Committee meeting.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion of the minutes.
How's that second?
Who's second?
Give it to Gary.
Any discussion of the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous passing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that'll conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Plowman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt the contract between Shiawassee County Probate Court, the Probate Court Circuit Court Family Division Employees Association, TPOAM, Technical Professional and Office Workers Association, and Shiawassee County.
Second.
Got a motion with support. Discussion on that item.
Just note if passed, it goes into effect tomorrow.
Back tomorrow. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the letter of agreement with the POLC.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Discussion on that item. Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
No.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to refill the position of drain maintenance supervisor not to exceed grade 3, step 3.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Discussion on that item. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to purchase a side-by-side from Hanson in the amount not to exceed $14,800 and the cost to be allocated equally between buildings and grounds, the health department, and the drain office.
Second.
Got a motion with support. Discussion on that. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
No.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to authorize MERS to allow Sheriff Deputy Paul Richardson to purchase 18 months of service credit as requested.
Second.
Got a motion with support. Discussion on the MERS item. A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
No.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the minutes of the February 14, 2022 Finance and Administration Committee meeting.
Second.
Got a motion with support. Any discussion regarding the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that passes unanimously.
I believe I do the next one too.
And I was going to say Commissioner Webster is out, so Commissioner Plowman, I think this has been your week.
Yes. I move to approve the purchase of 17 aim-point red dot sights for the Sheriff Patrol Rifles in an amount not to exceed $6,868.
Support.
I have a motion. Did you get it?
They said it at the same time.
Give it to one of them.
Just don't give it to Webster.
I have a motion with support. Do we have any discussion on that item?
None.
All right, roll call vote then, please.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused. Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Chairman Broder?
Yes.
I move to approve the purchase agreement with Signature Ford of Ferry for 2 2022 Ford Police Interceptors and 1 2022 Ford 150 Police Responder, the necessary equipment in an amount not to exceed $145,773.50.
Support.
I have a motion with support on that item. Any discussion about that purchase?
Only a point of order about whether one of us is going to abstain, and we look into that so that this doesn't get thrown out later.
I think that we looked into that, and as far as we know, Commissioner Howard can abstain. I don't think anyone other than he has felt that he should, but I believe it is allowable.
Good.
Roll call vote, please.
Would you say that again?
I believe we looked into it, and as far as we can tell, Commissioner Howard is permitted by state law and Robert's Rules of Orders and our rules to abstain from a vote. None of us has suggested that he abstain. That has been his own feeling that he should. So it did come up as to whether it was actually permitted. So as far as we can tell, it is permitted that a commissioner who feels so moved can abstain from a vote. An abstention is a permissible vote.
So I worked in the county and know a lot of these farmers and all that. I should abstain from voting on all those things.
No one is saying you should. No one said
I don't
this,
think
the
I can.
commissioner should abstain. He decided on his own. Did you want to say anything about that, Brad?
Just that I read Robert's Rules of Order and an abstention is acceptable.
Oh, okay. I disagree with that, but
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused. Commissioner Holzhausen?
abstain.
Good one.
Commissioner Howard?
Abstain.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Point of order though, if you have more abstentions, it
Yeah.
will fail.
That is correct.
She said yes.
She said
You
yes.
said yes.
Yeah,
Thank
when you raised your pen.
And Chairman Broder?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we have 4 yeses. I move
Commissioner
to,
Holzhausen, you make my life interesting.
Well, Gary makes a point. I mean,
I move to approve the minutes of the February 15th, 2022 Public Safety and Courts Committee meeting.
Second.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes
Concludes
unanimously.
my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber, if you would take us into the next motion.
yes. I make a motion that we place the County Veteran Services Program proposal renewal on the November 2022 ballot for a 6-year term.
Support.
I've got a motion with support. Is there discussion on that item?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was today reviewing our county website on our veterans page and looking at the list of things that we offer in our veterans office and some of the things that we would like to offer. So my thought on this renewal is that we will, with additional space, be able to expand on what we're doing without increasing our millage. So that, one of the things that we do state as a goal is to increase awareness of our services. That's going to take probably some money and some networking. Another thing that I find critical is the mental health, the availability of mental health services. If you have insurance, you cannot avail yourself of the services at health and wellness unless you're on Medicaid. So that need is great for our veterans, and I'd like to see some of the more programming done. And if we can continue this millage, provide more services without an increase, that's a good thing.
I just wanted to clarify the number of years we are proposing to put on the millage.
6.
It is 6.
Okay.
So that was what I felt the consensus was from your discussion
Yes.
yesterday, so I just made it 6.
I
If you
thought it
want
was-
to change it, it is up to you.
What puts us on the even
Right.
year during a governor?
That
Where
was
5 put us into a non-election year.
Yes, which would
is
force
why
a
we're moving
special
it early.
election.
Yes.
Yep.
Just as a practice, the board should really try to focus on always having elections on even years, if all possible, so it reduces our costs.
And I would echo the sentiment that I think with the new facility that we're working on, assuming that works out well, there will be a wonderful opportunity for us to expand our services to veterans. We'll have the money, and finally we'll have the space, and I think we'll have one of the best programs, at least the potential for one of the best programs around. I'm very enthused about that. Any other comments? Roll call vote on that, please.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster is excused, Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks.
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move that we appoint Dr. Lori Burke and Philip Moore to the Shiawassee Health and Wellness Board.
Second.
Motion with support, discussion on that item? Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, I had personal contact with those people. I know them personally. I'm on the nominating committee, and I guess I'll have to abstain from voting on that because it's personal.
Don't do a roll call on this one,
Oh,
unless you chose to. You don't have to.
well, then we shan't. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
And abstentions. I was gonna. So that passes with one abstention.
I move that we approve the minutes of the February 15th, 2022 Health and Human Services Committee meeting.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes unanimously.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Marks, do we have anything on the Committee of the Whole?
Yes, sir, we do. At this time, I'll move to approve the minutes of the February 16, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Support.
Got a motion with support, discussion on the minutes of the Committee of the Whole. All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes.
That's it for that report.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have nothing further that I haven't already said at the various meetings this week, so I can move on to Dr. Boggs.
Very briefly, I gave my report yesterday, 2 additional items. One next month sometime for the Board of Commissioners Week, one day that week, our new website provider will be here and we'll have a mock version of the website up for you to give a look over and see if you like the theme, you like kind of the design, kind of the layout before they continue on with it. That'll be sometime during the week of meetings next month. And then second, remember we were closed on Monday for President's Day.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, we have our second opportunity for the public to speak. And we will start with Mr. Mankey.
Thank you, Tom Yankee, Wausau Township. 3 things. Number 1, you haven't heard from our governor yesterday. Masks are done. Gone. If you want to wear one, that's fine. But no longer are schools supposed to force students to wear masks. Done. It's over. Which comes to another thing. We might be able to start saving some money. If you go back in the minutes, I think you allowed the health department to hire 3 individuals to come in on a part-time basis that were supposed to follow people, take care of all of the data, which I am told now that was never done. I was told that the health department didn't do their own data, that they used state's data. But you all were told when you allowed them to hire some employees, that these employees, that was their job, was to do all this data. So you might have 3 jobs that you can let go because there's no more work for them. The last thing, on the abstention, we just dealt with this in the city of Owasso. We had our city attorney looked into it. You can't just abstain. According to the legal, you can't just abstain. The board's got to vote to allow you to abstain. Otherwise, what we'll have is exactly what we had happen just tonight, and I'm glad that you made your point. Because the city attorney, and I would recommend you take it to your attorney, a person on the board cannot just decide that they don't want to vote on something. It's your job. That's why you're on the board. If you feel that you have something that you can't vote on, then the board can vote to allow you to abstain. But a person, can you imagine how this would be if you all just abstained? Nothing would ever get done. So please take it to your attorney, because this just happened not more than 2 weeks ago in the city of Owasso, where we had one person on the board didn't like that another person on the board was voting because they were a business owner and this was about business downtown. And so the business owner said, well, maybe I'll abstain. Well, no, you can't just abstain unless we vote you that you can. But please get a legal opinion on that, because can you imagine the chaos? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carhoff.
Okay, just to touch base on a couple things I've talked about in the past. The Fred Meyer Trail, I would like to get some information on that so that way I can be more part of that. I'd like to see it extended from Owasso all the way to Durand and see if I can get in connection with that organization to see how we can connect the Durand Union Station to all the way to that trail. I've had a lot of constituents in my area talking about how it would benefit not just Durand, Vernon, and Corona and Owasso, but it opens it up for more biking, more hiking, and more, economic health all around, personal health and business health. The other thing I would really would like to see this happen is on the county website, produce a financial digital record of what our revenues are coming in for each proposal or whatever we have on a ballot, the money brought in, the money expenditures, showing where it's going and how it's being spent. That there allows for transparency a little bit more so people know where our money is going as taxpayers. Especially with the ARPA funding and everything coming into play now, we want to see where it is. We want to see where it's going and how it's being spent. I think that there will definitely show a lot more transparency. And you guys have room on the website to do that. And all it is a budgetary list of things of how much the veterans is getting, how much public awareness or health or police department or sheriff's department or the county commissioners in general, Buildings and Grounds. I know, a minute and 20 seconds. I don't want to sound like I'm rambling, but I think that that would be very beneficial for the county to do that. That way when taxpayer says, well, where's our money going? Well, it's right here, clear as day. You don't have to FOIA it, it's on the website. But I would like to, like I said, I'd like to get some more information, and since Cindy says, works with that organization, I'd very much like to do that, because I just bought a brand new bicycle this year, and I'm planning on doing a lot more bicycling on the weekends. But I would like to work with whoever I have to, or whoever Cindy can get me in touch with, to see if we can work a deal out to get Durian, Vernon, Corona, and Owasso brought into that picture, because we're a very beautiful community. We have the Shiawassee River and a lot of benefits that our community can use these for, physical health too. So, and just want to say thank you to the board, and I look forward to working with you, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt Shepard, please.
Just a few years ago, John Plowman made reference when I asked and made comment that government is corrupt. He said, so you're indicating that all levels of government are corrupt? And he answered his own question. As far as transparency goes in this county, if you're looking at a cloudy mirror, that's about as transparent as this county has been in the last few years. Smirk, go ahead. Smirk it up. Your time's coming. Why was not?
Please address.
Why was not an idea of a vote of no confidence made towards these individuals? Quick to try to remove somebody from a committee or from this county board for bringing facts to the county, but you're not going to do anything about egregious actions against the taxpayers of this county. Keep looking at that foggy mirror.
Michael Carr, please.
On the agenda, for the first couple of months you were here, you had the little commissioners roundtable, and where each of them could just bring up something they wanted to talk about, and I thought that was real informative, but I haven't seen it for the last couple of meetings, and I just asked you to consider bringing that back. Because to be honest with you, that was a more interesting part of the meeting for me than the whole rest of the thing combined. So, just something to consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments regarding the public comments just now?
I have one.
Yes,
I would urge you, Mr. Chairman, to not allow threats during public comment, such as your time is coming. I think it's highly inappropriate.
I agree, and I did ask that the comments be directed to the chair.
I don't think they should be threatening the chair either. So I would like to just not have those types of threats made.
Wasn't a threat, it was a promise.
Which underscores the need for mental health, so
See to yourself.
that's all I got.
Your time has passed, please. We gave you your time. This is our time.
I had time for rebuttal.
I'm asking you,
Mm-hmm.
please keep your comments to yourself. You can speak after the meeting if you'd like. I'd like to follow the rules. We gave you your time. Commissioners, anyone else?
Yeah.
In that case, this meeting is adjourned. Matt, if you have something to say,